The 12 Chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, High Anxiety, History of the World Part 1, Spaceballs, Life Stinks, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, and Dracula, Dead and Loving It. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about Mel Brooks' directorial films. The guy is a comedic genius. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of films under his belt, but hey, neither does Quentin Tarantino. Look, no matter where you fall on the comedic line, everybody has to give a little something to Mel Brooks. Without him, movies like Scary Movie wouldn't exist. I'm Kyle Malone, and this is LRM Ranks It. Who doesn't like Mel Brooks? If you don't, you're a terrible person. It's just that simple. Mel Brooks has delivered a lot of amazing movies in his lifetime, and unfortunately I don't think we're going to get any more, so we're kind of stuck with the few that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But that doesn't mean that I can't pick a top 3. I very well easily can, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. My top 3 Mel Brooks directorial movies. History of the World Part 1 starts out kind of making fun of 2001: A Space Odyssey, with the monkeys humping the air and kind of worshiping this obelisk. It's this great historical satire. It makes fun of the Roman Empire, makes fun of the French Revolution. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and one of the key parts of it is when they start talking about History of the World Part 2, and you get things like Hitler on Ice. And Hitler is a very touchy subject these days, but the idea of Mel Brooks following up with History of the World Part 2 is incredibly tantalizing to me. I love it. You hear me, Mr. Brooks? Please make it happen. So my number 2 is actually going to be Young Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Mel Brooks really leans into the whole aesthetic of Frankenstein. He leans into the black and white movie. It's great. I absolutely love it. Igor is easily one of the funniest characters Mel Brooks has ever put in one of his movies. Every scene that he's in, I think he steals the show away. Even some of the scenes with Gene Wilder. And let's face it, Gene Wilder is one of the greatest comedic actors to ever exist. Before we get into my number 1, I want to remind everybody, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Not just for LRM Ranks It, but for everything that we have on the LRM YouTube channel. We have an amazing interviewer through Gig who does great interviews. He gets class A celebrities to spill the beans. Make LRMonline.com your homepage. There's no reason why not. I mean, the first thing I think about whenever I wake up in the morning is what's happened in the world of entertainment news today. And of course, be sure to check out the Los Fanboys podcast channel, where we have great shows, including the Los Fanboys podcast itself, the LRM Ranks It podcast, where you're going to be able to hear me and others go deeper into our lists. This week, I'm going to be joined by Nick Dahl talking about Mel Brooks films. And of course, we've also got Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast. You got to ask Nick why he went with that title. It's some sort of weird inside joke with him, but whatever. So my number 1 is going to be Spaceballs. I absolutely love this film. I think it is the best example of a spoof film, maybe only rivaled by the first Airplane movie. Absolutely hilarious. Every joke in this lands. It's one of the movies that Mel Brooks has done that has a solid third act, just like Young Frankenstein does. I love this movie. It's, oh God, everything from raspberry jam being the way they jam the radar, to Pizza the Hut, yogurt being the Spaceballs version of Yoda. It's, I mean, everything in it. Plus, it's got John Candy, and I love John Candy. I think he is sorely missed in Hollywood these days. One of the best comedy actors to ever live. This movie has a lot of play on Star Wars, but there's also some play on Aliens, some Star Trek type stuff. There's just so many jokes, and I had a friend that did not like Spaceballs because Star Wars was so holy to them that they couldn't stand anything making fun of it, and they need to get over that. It's a hilarious movie. I can't recommend it enough. It's actually a great way to get into Mel Brooks films and his style of comedy. So if you haven't watched any Mel Brooks films, go get Spaceballs. give it a shot. It's hilarious. I think you'll love it. Definitely, those are my top 3 Mel Brooks directorial films. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Share us with your friends and family. Tell us what's on your list. What are your 3 favorite Mel Brooks films? Let us know in the comments below. And look for the podcast tomorrow with me and Nick Dahl, where he's going to come up with a list that's going to be hopefully slightly different than mine. And he's going to be wrong for it because, let's face it, I've got the best opinion there is. Hey everybody, did you like what you just watched? Do you want to see more? Check out the other great videos available here on the LRM Online YouTube channel. Also, go check out our website, lrmonline.com, to see all the great stories that we publish every day.